Hi everyone, welcome. So today we are going to do what I call a little bit of yin-ish yoga. In traditional yin practice, it's great because we use stretching, passive stretching, as a way to get into the parasympathetic nervous system. So what that means is that we get into our rest and digest state as opposed to that chronic fight or flight mode. So the reason why I call it yin-ish is because I'm adding my own spin with regards to some of the stretching. So I'm still going to be doing some passive stretching, which is great for relaxation, but I'm also going to be incorporating active range of motion and PNF style of stretching, so that we can strengthen the muscles and the joints at the end range of motion, which will in fact give us more flexibility. The nervous system will then recognize that it's safe to go further because we have the strength and control in that particular range. So I hope you guys enjoy this class. So just a few things that you might want to have. I'm not sure if we'll need a bolster, but if that's something that you like in your yin practice, feel free to grab it. We will maybe use a blanket and possibly 2 blocks. When is a good time to do this practice? Well, if you're feeling really sore, this is a great practice to do. If you're feeling stressed, this is a great practice to do. If you need to calm down your nervous system after a HIIT workout, this is a great practice to do. So you kind of pick and choose where this practice might fit into your regular movement routine. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is just have a seat. And you're just going to take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And you're just going to take your hands behind you. So whatever feels intuitive with your hand placement. For me, I like to take my fingers a little bit out to the sides. It just feels a little bit more natural. And I just want you to close your eyes. Let your spine kind of relax here. Let your pelvis relax. Close your eyes and start to tune into the sensation of your body. So notice any areas of the body that feel tight or tense. Any areas maybe that feel relaxed or energized. And then think of breathing in and out of your nose, staying with that natural nostril breath, but breathing low into the belly, the sides of the waist, as well as the low back. So connecting to that 3-dimensional diaphragmatic breath, which will kind of work the core from the inside out. And you might hear me say throughout this entire class, here and there, connect to this diaphragm breath. And if you're not sure if you're doing it correctly, don't worry about it. You can even envision almost like a barrel inflating with breath. Just noticing that 3-dimensional breathing. And then from here, you're more than welcome to keep your eyes closed. We're just going to start to windshield wipe the knees from side to side. And you can move your pelvis, you can move your spine. I like to even take it all the way into my neck, into some cervical rotation, looking over my shoulder. And then come back to center. So we're just kind of warming up here. There is going to be very minimal movement in this practice, but if you've maybe done a workout or maybe you're doing this first thing in the morning, it's kind of nice to get things moving here. Finding that spiraling rotation. And then bring the knees back to center. Let your knees fall over to the left. And you're going to actually walk your hands in just so that you're propping yourself up a little bit. So let your feet be flexed. Flex your toes towards your shin. We're going to work on a little bit of active internal rotation through the hips. So through that right thigh bone. And if your knee hovers, you can always take a block underneath, and we can resist the knee into the block, just lifting the floor up, if that's an option. So all I want you to do here, you're going to take your hands behind you, but make sure that you're relatively lifted here through the pelvis. Taking a breath on the inhale, just try to relax your belly. Breathe into the belly, the sides of your waist. But on the inhale, I want you to press that back inner knee thigh into the floor. And then just breathe naturally. Into the belly, the sides of the waist. And you don't have to press down at like 100% maximum effort, maybe like 60-70%. And you should feel that internally rotated hips start to light up, maybe in near the groin. And then relax the effort and just let everything be passive here. And then the next time you inhale, inflate through the belly, the side of the waist, the back, and push that back thigh into the floor. And then just breathe naturally. Feel free to close the eyes, settle into that sensation. And you're just pressing that inner knee thigh into the block or the floor at about 60 to 70% of your maximum effort. So you don't want to tire yourself out here. We're not trying to feel more tired after the practice. And then just relax all the effort. Notice any sensation. And then we'll do one more here. When you're ready, inhale, fill up the diaphragm, belly, sides of the waist, the back. Create that core stability and then push inner knee thigh. So usually we do things on the exhale, but I've been experimenting with this inhale filling up, creating that core stability, that intra-abdominal pressure, and then pushing. And it has had some great significant changes and benefits. But that's a whole other class. And then gently release. And we'll bring the knees back to center. And we're just going to swivel and switch sides. So let your knees fall uneven, unstacked over to the right. Prop yourself up enough so that that inner knee and thigh, that left inner knee thigh, can touch the floor or the block. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale through the nose, breathing low into the belly, the sides of the waist, the low back, and push that inner knee thigh into the floor. About 70% effort. So in yoga, there's a lot of external hip rotation. So we want to make sure we're strengthening through internal rotation as well. And this is a nice calming way to do that. Just using the floor for feedback. Feeling that resistance. And then relax the effort and just pause into that passive stretch. And the next time you fill in through the nose into the diaphragm, push. Starting to feel those muscles around the hip joint wake up, essentially. And that's what we're trying to do with this active stretching, is strengthen at the end range of motion. Then the nervous system will allow us more space, more flexibility, once it trusts us that we have the strength and control in that particular range. And then relax the effort. And let's do one more. Breathing on the inhale, pushing on the inhale. Try not to hold your breath. See if you can breathe naturally. And then gently release. Okay, so we're going to come into what's called the 90-90 position, which is almost like pigeon pose. So taking your right or your left leg out in front of you, and then the back leg behind you. Make any adjustments that feel good. So essentially, it's 90 degrees in the front, 90 degrees in the back. Now, for some people, this is just not comfortable for whatever reason, knees, hips. You could always place a block underneath of your front knee, hip, or you just come into a position that looks similar to this. It doesn't have to be perfectly angled here. And then from here, so we did a bit of internal rotation. So now you're going to press that back knee, thigh into the floor at about 50% of your maximum effort. We're going to focus on building strength through external rotation and add some passive stretching in between. So just taking your fingertips on the floor, nice neutral spine, I want you to press that front outer knee, outer edge of the foot, outer thigh into the floor. About 70% of your effort. That back knee thigh is still at about 50% effort. So we have a little bit of effort in the back and we have just a little bit more effort in the front. And then relax both legs and see if you can fold into that passive stretch, maybe coming onto the forearms. Notice if you got a little bit of range. Again, waking up the muscles allows the nervous system to say, okay, I think this is safe. I think that there's some strength in this range, so I'm going to allow for some passive work. And then push the floor away. Try not to use your hands to pull you back to a seat. And we're going to repeat that twice more. Little bit of effort pressing that back knee thigh behind you into internal rotation. And a little bit more effort pushing that front outer knee thigh into the floor. This feels so good on the outer hip and glute. Relax the effort and then fold into that passive stretch. And at any point you can start to draw yourself back into that diaphragmatic breathing. And then start to get active by pushing your front leg into the floor, lifting you up. Last time. Push the legs into the floor. That back knee, little bit of effort, front, little bit more effort. But whatever feels good. We don't want to rev up the nervous system too much because we're trying to down-regulate the nervous system in this practice. And then relax the effort. Fold over the thighs, passively stretching. And we're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Close the eyes. Breathe in and out of the nose, into the belly, the sides of your waist. Maybe your low back. And just seeing if you gained more range of motion just by activating the muscles first. And then let's gently lift ourselves up and we'll switch sides. You want to shake out the legs in between, whatever feels good. And again, one side might feel different than the other. Doesn't mean we automatically have to correct anything or even things out. Again, finding your most comfortable 90-90 position. And then we'll actively flex the toes towards the shin. You're going to push that back knee thigh into the floor, about 50% of your effort, and that front knee thigh into the floor, about 70-80%. Breathe in and out of the nose. into the belly, the sides of your waist. Release and relax the effort, and then we'll passively fold over the thighs. Take a couple breaths here. Continuing to breathe into the belly and the sides of your waist. And then start to get active into that front leg. Push into the floor so that you come back to a seat. And we'll do that 2 more times. Start to actively push that front knee thigh into the floor, back knee thigh into the floor. So we have some active external and active internal hip rotation. Breathing into the belly, the sides of your waist, your back. And then release and relax the effort, and we'll passively fold over the thighs. Couple breaths here. And then actively press that front knee thigh into the floor to pull you back to a seat. And we'll do that 1 more time. Get active. Use the floor for feedback. So this is how we create strength and resistance, by having something to push into so that we can generate some force. Keep pushing. And then release, relax the effort. Let's passively fold here. 5 breaths. In and out of the nose, into the belly, the side of the waist, and the low back. Push the floor away, using that front thigh to pull you up to a seat. And we'll just gently release here. Take the legs wide into a straddle, and try not to use your hands as you do that. See if you can just go into the range that's natural for you. Take your hands behind you, and what you're going to do, one hip is going to go in, the other hip is going to go out. So we're kind of massaging the pelvis here. One hip goes in, other hip goes out. So we're just adding some gentle movement in between our postures here. You can squeeze your glute as you lift your hip. It just feels really nice, almost like a massage for the low back. All right, let's come on to the back here. We're going to do some active and passive half pigeon, active and passive half happy baby. So again, if you want, you can just kind of sway the knees from side to side, just to move things around a bit before we come into more static shapes. Great, and then we'll come to center. You're going to keep your right foot down, keep the right knee bent. Pick up that left flexed ankle, place it above the right knee, and open your hip. Try not to use your hands, so no hands. We'll just extend the hands long by the side, and you're going to pull your right knee in towards the chest. Now from here, we're going to do a little bit of active stretching. So what you're going to do is press your left ankle into your right thigh and vice versa. So it's almost like you're trying to pull your knee in towards the chest, but your leg is stopping you. So there's that little bit of resistance and activation. Keep holding. And then relax the effort. Keep the ankle there. Take your hands behind the hamstring or the shin and pull the knee in towards the chest. So now we're in our passive range here. Breathe in and out of the nose. Again, into the belly, the sides of the waist, the low back. And then release the hands. We're going to do that twice more. You're going to push your left ankle into your thigh and vice versa. Feeling your outer hip and glute start to light up. Try to stay with a nice calm breath. And then release the effort. Grab onto the thigh or the shin bone and pull the knee in towards the chest. So going from our active range of motion to our passive range of motion. And then let's release the hands, and we'll do that one more time. Again, it doesn't have to be like 100% effort. We don't want to exhaust ourselves out. This practice is meant as recovery. Keep actively pressing the ankle into the thigh, vice versa. Release and relax the effort. Grab onto the thigh and pull it in. And see if you gained a little bit more range of motion from the first round. And then gently release. We'll just take that left leg up, give it a shake. Just let the blood kind of circulate and flow. Great. And we're going to do something similar, just like that, using half happy baby. So bending your left knee towards your left armpit. Couple options. You can grab onto the back of your knee thigh. You can grab onto the ankle or the outer edge of the foot. So as you come to half happy baby, use the strength of your arm to pull down into the foot or the thigh and press your leg into your hand. So this is our active range here. So my leg is shaking. It's almost like you're trying to straighten your leg, but your arm's not letting you. And we'll breathe here. Keeping that hip externally rotated in its nice centrated position for most people. Release and relax the effort. See if you can pull that left knee down towards the floor, just a tad. So possibly you gained a little bit more range of motion. And then again, let's activate. Use the arm to pull down. Press your leg, press your foot into your hand. Relax the effort. Pull it down a little bit. And then last round. Press your leg into your hand, vice versa. A little bit of grip, strength here, holding on for dear life. And then relax the effort, pull it down. And gently release. And just take a moment, release your left foot onto the floor. And just take inventory here. Notice the difference between the left and the right side. I feel some nice sensation on my left side, a nice balance between stretching the muscles, but also waking up the tissue around the joint. It's a nice balance. And then when you're ready, we'll switch. We'll place that right flexed ankle above the left knee, open the hip. And we'll start with the hands long by the sides and pull the left knee in. And again, it's almost like you're trying to pull your knee towards your nose, but your right leg is not letting you. So actively press that right ankle into your left thigh and vice versa. And we'll hold here. Breathe into the belly, the sides of the waist, and try not to clench your jaw. Try to relax the muscles in your face. And then release the effort. We'll grab onto the back of the hamstring or the shin and just pull the knee in towards the chest. Breathe in and out of the nose. And then release the hands. Let's get active here. Press the ankle into the thigh, vice versa. Feel that resisted work and stretch. Release, grab onto the thigh, pull it in. I've already noticed that I'm getting more range of motion here. And by the second time, pretty awesome. And then gently release. Let's do one more. Press the ankle into the thigh, vice versa. And then let's release the effort. Pull the knee in. And gently release. Okay, we'll take the left foot down. Half happy baby on the right. Again, either grabbing onto the back of the knee, grab onto the ankle, the outer edge of the foot. Whatever feels comfortable. You can always use a strap too or a towel. And let's go into our active range of motion here. So you're going to press your foot into your hand, vice versa. Like you're trying to straighten your leg, but your arm's not allowing that to happen. So I don't know if you can see, but my leg is shaking here. And then release the effort. Pull the knee down just a little bit further. Breathe into the belly. Stay with that calming breath. And then let's get active again, that push-pull resistance. Use the arm to pull down, use the leg to press. And then release the effort, pull down, passive half happy baby. One more here. Push, pull, get nice and active. Feel that resisted work. And then release, relax the effort. Pull down. Maybe your knee got a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe not. That's totally fine. And then gently release. All right. So let's do just a little bit of shoulder and back. So we'll bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Let the knees fall in and rest. Take your arms into a cactus position. So right away we're opening through the chest, opening through the fronts of the shoulders. And this isometric contraction, this active mobility, particularly this one I got from Catherine Bruni Young, and I love this one. It's one of my favorite ones to do. So what you're going to do is press the back of your fingernails into the floor, press the back of your head into the floor, so we're waking up the muscles in the neck, press your elbows into the floor, press your ribs, back of the ribs into the floor. So you should feel those nice muscles in the top of the postural chain, the back muscles, while creating a nice stretch for the chest. And then just relax the effort. Breathe into the belly, the sides of your waist. Nice passive goalpost arms. And then when you're ready, we'll get active. Press the back of the hands, back of the elbows, back of the head, back of the ribs. So sometimes when we press into this position, we might arch the spine, but see if you can just press the back of your body into the floor. Great external rotation through the shoulders. And then let's gently release, relax the effort. Notice sensation. We'll do one more here. When you're ready, press back of the fingernails, back of the hands, back of the elbows, back of the head, back of the ribs. And then release and relax. And just feel free to windshield wipe the knees from side to side. Keep your arms in that cactus position. And before we come into Shavasana, final resting position, if there's any other shapes or moves that you want to explore, maybe hug the knees into the chest, whatever it is that you need. Otherwise, final relaxation, and this is kind of where the greatest part of parasympathetic nervous system takes place, where we kind of recover and rest and repair. So you're just going to find your most comfortable reclined position, and you can grab a blanket, a pillow, whatever it is that you need. And as you find your most comfortable shape, can you scan your body and notice parts of your body that feel awake, but also relaxed. So that's what I love about the balance of active and passive stretching, is that it helps us to feel relaxed, the passive stretching, but with the active stretching, we also feel awake. The tissues feel alive and energized. And so I personally invite you to stay in Shavasana for about 5 to 10 minutes or so. I'm going to leave you here, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I love hearing from you, so maybe if you want to tell me how this class made you feel when you did it, that would be awesome. And yeah, that's it for today. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.